Good? Shut up. Hey, Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and I am joined now with the jokester, Johnny Nelson. You always got something up your sleeve.
I'm just here to do my job. That's just to do my job.
Were you a mischievous child? Because when I see you from across the room, you have this look like you're always up to something.
I'm not. I'm a butterfly. I just talk to everybody. That's the kind of guy I am.
But it's all in the eye, Nelson, and I see it.
Don't get fooled by the packaging. I'm just saying.
All right, well, we just saw David Haye and Tony Bellew weigh in. Both look great, in good shape. I just sort of want to talk to you about the keys of victory for each of them.
Oh, and let's look at this. The last time they fought, David Haye was 16 stone 9. Now he's 15 stone 10, almost a stone lighter. Tony Bellew was 15 stone 3. Now he's 15 stone 4. He's put a pound on. He thought he'd be weighing a lot lighter. So the weight margin is very small. It's 6 pounds between the two of them, which tells me David is now taking this very seriously to get himself into condition. Seems supremely confident up there and trying his hardest not to get angry. Whereas Tony needs to rattle this man some way, some form, somehow. The weighing's over. The talking's done. The next time I see each other is when the bell goes. To me, this is the first time David Haye has had to go to the world to prepare 100% for a fight. It's the first time he's had to do it in 8 years. So every time everybody else is boxing that time, he's thought, it's a level of opponent. I don't have to do this for that guy. I don't have to do that for this guy. Now he's had to do everything for this guy because this guy beat him in Tony Bellew. So now it's about, can he implement that? Can he turn back time? Can he be that fighter 8 years ago? He's a water still in the well. He's pushed it there to get himself in the condition. They've had long enough to train for this fight, which might have benefited David. And it's definitely benefited Tony because Tony looks slim, he looks sleek. Tony thought he'd come in away in a bit lighter, probably under 15 stone. He's coming at 15.3. Tony, he has the power. I think Tony has the better boxing technique at this stage in his career. On form, on paper, that's what you're looking at. At this stage in their career, I'd expect David to have the most explosive fight style. So now it's about tactics. It's about how they're going to approach this fight. I don't think fitness is going to be an issue. I don't think injuries are going to be an issue. This is about tactics. You've got two wise guys, and both of them were extremely good amateurs, accomplished amateurs, so they know how to box and know how to fight. I think as time's gone on, Tony's become a better boxer as time's gone on. Now he's gone up in weight as well. He's more comfortable. But David, he's been dependent on that power. So it's a case of David saying he wants to drag it along. I don't know if that can be the case because Tony is a very sharp, very shrewd boxing analyst. He knows how the fight game works. So therefore, I think David will actually try and jump on him and get rid of him early.
David said at the press conference yesterday that he's gotten better with age. You as a former fighter, do you feel that's the case? Because often, we know that as a boxer ages, no one really gets better.
David's at an age now, at the age where I retired as a fighter. And what happens is and nobody can tell you this unless you've been there. What happens? You can no longer control the pace of your opponent. So it's about controlling the pace of the whole fight. So he fights at your pace. Now, for the first 2 or 3 rounds, they can both fight at an amazing pace. But then you're gonna revert back to time. You're gonna think, right, I've got to slow this down. I've got to calm it down. So David's got to hustle his way through this fight. So Bellew doesn't make it a pressure fight. So he's got to work constantly for 3 minutes of every round for 12 rounds. That's what he's got to do. Tony's naturally a fast shooter. He has a working jab which works very well for him, and so he has a naturally higher pace. So that's where the issue is going to be. They say age doesn't do you any favours, but when you're at this weight and you're working at weight and speed, it could tell. So if David hasn't got it, and Tony was the first one to say that when they boxed the first time, it's going to show today. Saturday night. If David hasn't got it, when he's gone back to the world to see, right, I've done it all, I expect to win. This where time thinks, right, it's payback. So we want to see what David's got. If David wins and he wins in fashion, I think David then will start shouting off about fighting Anthony Joshua. I can see that happening. But I just think this is all about tactics and timing.
Today I was honestly probably expecting a shove or a little something, because yesterday we got that. However, it seemed as though that in that moment, Tony allowed his emotions to get the best of him. No?
Tony's the kind of guy that can create calm throughout chaos.
I understand they were like...
Yeah, listen, Tony's no fool, and when you fight somebody, it's not just physical, it's mental as well. You've got to get into the head. If you can get somebody to hate you, to want to just smash you, you've got the battle won. And that's what happened last time, because all David wanted to do was to knock him out. David wasn't trying to box. David was aggressive. And David himself said, he looked at the fight, he said, I was an amateur. I was stupid, I let him get in my head. George Groves did it with Carl Froch. If you can get into your opponent's head, it's done. And Tony's the best at doing that. But you forget he's a great student of the game. He understands the game. He looks at the minute details that most people forget about and ignore. So therefore, you know, David has had to try and maintain his calm and distance himself, detach himself from the emotion of this fight. And he's tried very hard. And a couple of times he's started to get into a bit, and then he thought, no.
I did see a bit of something from David yesterday. I don't know, I was just sort of watching his mannerisms, and when he was laughing, that is sort of a form of uncomfortable.
Yeah, of course he's uncomfortable. And listen, there's a lot of things that Tony will have said that David does not like. But he's got to deal with it correctly. Yeah. And behind closed doors, he might be kicking the chair, spitting, thinking out X, Y, Z, but he's got to hold it down. But as far as he's concerned, he doesn't want Tony to know he's getting to him.
Does this fight go to the distance, do you think?
I don't think it goes the distance.
Okay.
I don't think it goes the distance because there's too much involved. Power, speed, bad feeling, no favours. So therefore, if these guys can get rid of each other, they will do. I think instinctively that's what they do. That's what they can do. So I don't think this will go the distance.
All right, Johnny. Thanks for your time.
Peace, G. Peace.
What kind of awkward?
Fresh clothes.
What kind of awkward shit is that?
Is it fresh goes?
What the hell was that?
Is it fresh goes?
No. Yes. Just kidding.
Fresh. That laugh. I'm telling you, I'm going to make so much money off that laugh.
For flip's sake. All right, Johnny. All right, bye, Fight fans. Hey, Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else.